Hello, my dear friend. Welcome to VUS Learning English Podcast. My name is Anna, and I am so happy you are here today. Today, we are going to talk about something truly amazing. We will talk about your brain, and we will talk about a simple habit that can change your brain, a habit that can make your mind stronger and clearer and more focused. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate your time. If you enjoy our time together, please think about following or subscribing. It helps our podcast grow and it helps us reach more English learners around the world. I always love to know where you are listening from. Are you in Japan or Brazil? Maybe you're in Africa or India. Please tell me in the comments. It makes me so happy to see our family of learners grow. Okay, are you ready? Let's begin. I want you to think about something. Do you ever feel stuck? Like you're in a loop, doing the same things day after day. Maybe you try to focus. You try to do something important. But then your hand moves by itself. It reaches for your phone. You open an app. You look at it for a minute. Then you close it. And a few minutes later, you do it again. Does this feel familiar? Or maybe you make big goals. On January 1st, you feel so much energy. You say, this year will be different. But then by February, the energy is gone. Your old habits come back, and your goals feel far away. You try to have discipline. You try to force yourself to do hard things. But at the end of the day, you just feel tired. You feel frustrated. You feel defeated. And you ask yourself, why is this so hard? Maybe you think the problem is your motivation. You tell yourself, I am not disciplined enough. You might think something is wrong with you. I am here to tell you a secret. It is not your fault. You are not lazy. You are not weak. The problem is not you. The problem is how your brain works. You are fighting a battle with your own brain. And it is a battle you cannot win with just willpower. It is like trying to push a river. You can push and push, but the river will keep flowing. It is tiring, and it does not work. But what if there is another way? What if you could stop fighting your brain? What if you could work with your brain? What if you could rewire it? Imagine your brain is like a garden, and your habits are like paths in the garden. Some paths are very wide and easy to walk on. Other paths are small and hard to see. What if you could build new, beautiful paths in your garden? This is not just a nice idea. This is science. This is real. Today, you will understand why you feel stuck. You will learn about the hidden rules of your mind, and you will learn one simple, very simple practice. A practice that can give you back control. It can physically change your brain. It can help you think deeply. It can help you have strong focus. And it can help you learn in a wonderful new way. To change your brain, we first need to understand it. Your brain is not your enemy, but it has one big important job. Its job is to save energy. Your brain is a small part of your body, It is only about 2% of your body's weight, but it uses a lot of energy. It uses 20% of your body's total energy. That is a huge amount. So your brain is very smart about saving energy. It loves to make things automatic. It loves to create habits. Think about the first time you learned to drive a car. Do you remember it? Everything needed so much focus. Your hands held the wheel very tightly. You thought about every little thing. How much to press the gas pedal, how to turn the wheel, checking the mirrors, watching your speed. It was very tiring for your brain. The thinking part of your brain was working so hard. Now, think about driving today. Maybe you drove to work this morning. Do you remember every turn you made? Probably not. You just arrived. You were on autopilot. This is your brain saving energy. A deep part of your brain takes over. This part is called the basal ganglia. You do not need to remember that name. Just know it is the part of your brain that loves habits. When it sees you do the same thing again and again, it says, "Oh, you do this all the time. Let me help. I will take care of this for you." You can save your energy for new things. So it bundles the actions together. It creates a habit, an automatic program. This is how habits are born. It is a simple loop in your brain. This loop has 3 parts: a cue, a routine, and a reward. Let's talk about these 3 parts. It is very simple. First, there is the cue. The cue is the trigger. It is the signal that tells your brain to start the habit. It can be something you see or hear, like the sound your phone makes, or it can be a feeling inside you, like feeling bored or feeling stressed. Next, there is the routine. The routine is the action. It is the habit itself. It is picking up your phone and opening an app. It is walking to the kitchen for a snack. It is turning on the TV. This action feels automatic. It happens without thinking. Finally, there is the reward. The reward is the good feeling you get. It tells your brain, "Hey, this was good. Let's remember this." This good feeling comes from a chemical in your brain. The chemical is called dopamine. Maybe you have heard of it. Dopamine is not about pleasure, it is about motivation. It is the chemical of wanting. It makes you want to do the action again and again and again. Let's use an example. A very common habit. Looking at your phone without thinking. First, the cue. You are working on something. It gets a little bit difficult or a little bit boring. You feel a little uncomfortable. That feeling is the cue. Next, the routine. Your hand automatically goes to your phone. You pull it out. Your thumb knows exactly where to go. It opens a social media app. You start to scroll. You do not even think about it. And then the reward. As you scroll, you see interesting things. A funny picture, a message from a friend, a surprising piece of news. Each little thing gives you a tiny bit of that chemical, dopamine. It's a small, quick reward. It makes the boring feeling go away for a moment. Your brain learns a simple lesson. When I feel bored, I look at my phone. It works. And so the habit loop gets stronger. This is the problem in our modern world. Our phones and computers are designed to do this. They are designed to catch our attention. Every notification is a cue. Every scroll is a routine. Every new post is a reward. This breaks our focus into tiny pieces. Our brain is being trained day by day to love distraction. It is not that you cannot focus. It is that your brain is learning to want distraction more. This is like an invisible cage, a cage made of your own habits, your own automatic behaviors. When you use willpower, you're just shaking the bars of the cage. It makes a lot of noise. It feels like you're doing something, but you are not changing the cage itself. To be free, you cannot just fight the old habits. You need to build new habits. You need to build new pathways in your brain. So how do we do that? This is where the good news begins. For a very long time, scientists thought the adult brain could not change. They thought that after you became a grown-up, your brain was fixed, like a statue made of stone. This was a sad idea. It meant that real change was not possible. But now we know this is not true. We have learned about something amazing, a beautiful idea called neuroplasticity. This word, neuroplasticity, might sound big and complicated, but the idea is very simple and very hopeful. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to change itself. Your brain can change its own shape. It can build new connections. It can learn and grow every day of your life. Your brain is not a stone statue. It is more like a living forest. It is always changing. Every thought you think, every feeling you feel, and every action you take. All of these things physically change your brain. There is a famous saying in science, neurons that fire together, wire together. What does this mean? Let's make it simple. Imagine your brain is a big green jungle. There are no paths. When you learn something new, it is like walking into the jungle for the first time. You have to cut a new path. It is slow. It is difficult. The path is very small. If you do not walk on it again, the jungle will grow over it. The path will disappear. But what if you walk on that same path the next day? It will be a little easier, and the day after that, even easier. Every time you walk the path, it gets wider. It gets clearer. Soon, the small path becomes a road. If you use it enough, it becomes a superhighway. An action that was once hard becomes easy. It becomes fast. It becomes automatic. This is not just a story. This is real. This is what happens inside your brain. When you repeat an action, the connection between the brain cells gets stronger. The brain helps this process. It wraps these important connections in a special material. This material is called myelin. Myelin is like insulation for a wire. It makes the signal travel much, much faster. This is why when you practice something, you get better. You are building a faster, stronger highway in your brain. This process is always happening. It happens when you learn a good habit, and it happens when you learn a bad habit. Neuroplasticity does not judge. It just builds highways for whatever you do most often. So if you scroll on your phone all the time, you are building a super highway for distraction. If you procrastinate a lot, you're building a super highway for procrastination. This is why you feel stuck. Your old, unhelpful habits are superhighways in your brain. They are real physical roads. Your new good habits are just tiny little paths. When you are tired or stressed, which path will your brain choose? It will always choose the easy one. It will always choose the superhighway. But here is the most hopeful, most beautiful truth. You can change this. You are the architect of your brain. You are the builder of these roads. You can let the old superhighways become quiet. You can let the jungle grow over them, and you can build new superhighways. Highways for focus. Highways for learning. Highways for peace. You have the power to choose. You can choose which paths to build every time you choose not to look at your phone and you hold your focus for just one more minute. You are doing something amazing. You are building a new path. You are making the focus path a little wider, a little stronger. You are helping to build a new brain. The question is no longer if you can change. The question is how you can change. So, where do we begin? If you want to change everything, where do you start? There are many good habits. Meditation is good. Journaling is good. Exercise is very good. But many of these are easier to do when one core skill is strong. There is one habit that is more powerful than the others. It is a meta habit. Meta means it is a habit that helps all other habits. It is the foundation. It trains the most important muscle in your brain. This meta habit is an ancient technology. It is not a new app. It is not a fancy gadget. It has been with us for hundreds of years, waiting on our shelves. The one meta habit that can rewire your brain for focus and deep thinking is deep focused reading. Now, maybe you are thinking, reading? That's it? That's the big secret. Please stay with me. I'm not talking about the kind of reading we do all day. I am not talking about scrolling through news headlines or reading comments on social media. That kind of reading actually makes our focus worse. It trains our brain to jump from one thing to another. I am talking about a different kind of reading. I am talking about deep reading. When you sit down with a physical book and you give it all of your attention, you are not doing anything else, just reading. Why is this so powerful? Because deep reading is the perfect exercise for your brain. It is like going to the gym for your attention. Our world today is always breaking our focus. It pulls us in 100 different directions. Sitting down with a book is an act of rebellion, a quiet, peaceful rebellion. It forces your brain to do only one thing for a long time. This is the opposite of the busy, distracted digital world. Deep reading trains the core skill of focused attention, the ability to choose where your focus goes. This is the master key. It unlocks everything else. Our willpower can run out, but our attention is a skill we can train. And a book is the best gym for that skill. Think about it like this. When you are reading, your mind will wander. It will start thinking about other things. Your grocery list, an email you need to send. This is normal. This is not a failure. This is the moment of opportunity. The real exercise is not just the reading. The real exercise is when you notice your mind has wandered and you gently, kindly bring it back to the page. That is one repetition. That is one push-up for your attention muscle. Each time you do this, you make your focus stronger. You are strengthening the part of your brain that controls attention. The benefits are amazing. Science shows us that deep reading can cause real physical changes in your brain. It can increase the amount of white matter. White matter is the communication highways in your brain. Reading can make these highways bigger and faster. It can also thicken the bridge that connects the two sides of your brain. This helps you think in a more connected, creative way. The positive effects can last for days after you read. This is real. When you read a book, you are changing your biology. You are not the same person after you finish a book. Your brain is physically different. You have built new pathways. You have changed the landscape of your mind. Reading does not just change what you know, it changes how you think. Okay, so we understand the idea, but how do we do it? How do we use this ancient tool to build a new brain? Let's talk about the practical steps. First, let's just take a moment to appreciate reading. The act of reading is a miracle. Your brain was not born to read. Speaking a language is natural for us, but reading is an invention. Writing is only about 5,000 years old. That is a very short time in human history. To learn to read, your brain did something amazing. It is called neuronal recycling. This just means your brain repurposed parts that were used for other things. For example, the part of your brain that helped you recognize a rock, or a tree, or an animal. That part was retrained. It learned to recognize the letter A or B. Learning to read fundamentally changes our brains. It shows us how flexible and powerful our brains are. And once you learn to read, something magical happens. When you read a story, your brain does not just see words. It lives the story. It simulates the experience. If a character in the book is running, the part of your brain that controls running becomes active. It feels like you are running. If a character smells fresh bread, the part of your brain for smell becomes active. Reading a story is like a form of telepathy. You can enter another person's mind. You can feel their feelings. You can think their thoughts. This is why studies show that people who read stories have more empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. When you read, you are practicing being someone else. You are practicing understanding different points of view. It is a beautiful and powerful thing. So how do we use this power in our own lives? The plan is very, very simple. The power is in doing it every day. The rule is this: read 10 pages of a physical book every single day. That's it. Just 10 pages. Not 100 pages. Not a whole book in 1 week. Just 10 simple pages. Why 10 pages? Because it is small. It is so small that you can do it even on your busiest day. This helps you build the habit. Consistency is more important than quantity. But 10 pages is also big enough to make a difference. 10 pages a day is 3,650 pages in a year. Most books are about 300 to 400 pages long. This means you will read about 10 to 12 books in a year. Think about that. Imagine yourself 1 year from now. You have read 10 new books. You have learned so much. Your brain has changed so much. Now think about 5 years from now. That is 50 or 60 books. The person who has read all those books is a different person. They have a different brain. The change is slow. You might not notice it every day. But over time, the change is huge. It is life-altering. Here are 3 simple steps to make it work. Step 1. Prepare your space. Your biggest enemy when you try to focus is your phone. Just seeing your phone can drain your mental energy, even if it is turned off. So, the first rule of deep reading is this. The phone cannot be in the same room. Do not just put it on silent. Put it in another room, or in a drawer in another room. This one small action is half the battle. You are removing the biggest distraction. You are creating a safe, quiet space for focus. Step 2. Choose your book. It is best to choose a physical book, a paper book. E-readers are okay, but many studies show that reading on paper is better for our brains. It helps us understand more deeply. It helps us remember more. The feeling of turning a page helps your brain. It helps your brain make a map of the information. What kind of book should you read? Stories or fiction are wonderful. They help you build empathy. They help you live other lives. Challenging nonfiction books are also great. Books that make you think. The most important thing is to choose a book that you find interesting. You want your brain to have a good workout. Step 3. Do the exercise. This is where the real change happens. Sit down with your book, in your quiet space. You will notice something. Your mind will fight you. It is so used to being distracted. It will want to jump away. You will start thinking about your to-do list. You will remember an email. You will wonder what is happening online. I want you to remember this. This is not a failure. This is the most important part of the practice. This is the opportunity to get stronger. The exercise is not just reading the words. The rep is the moment you notice your mind has wandered, and you gently, without anger, bring it back to the page. Every time you do this, you are exercising your focus muscle. You are making it stronger. You are weakening the old path of distraction, and you are strengthening the new path of focus. Each time you bring your attention back is a victory. Do not be frustrated with yourself. Just notice and return. Notice and return. That is the entire practice. That is how you build your focus superhighway. To make it even better, read with a pencil in your hand. Underline sentences you love. Write questions in the margins. Talk to the author in your mind. This makes you an active reader, not a passive consumer. You are having a conversation with the book. If you do this simple thing, the changes will start to happen. Your ability to focus at work will get better. You will listen more carefully in conversations. Your memory will improve. A study from 2009 found something amazing. Just 6 minutes of quiet reading can reduce your stress. It can reduce stress by up to 68%. That is more than listening to music or going for a walk. The long-term benefits are even more profound. Studies show that reading regularly throughout your life is one of the best ways to protect your brain as you get older. Some research shows it can lower the risk of dementia by more than 30%. When you commit to reading 10 pages a day, you are doing more than just reading. You are starting a long-term project. The project is building a new brain. You are using the science of neuroplasticity on purpose. You are building a brain that is calmer, sharper, more focused, and more kind. You are turning your brain into your greatest friend, your greatest asset. Let's go back to the beginning. That feeling of being stuck, of fighting a battle with your own brain. The message of today is simple. Stop fighting. The way to change is not through force. It is through smart, gentle, and consistent rewiring. Your brain right now is the result of your past habits. That might feel like bad news, but the good news is so much bigger. The good news is that your brain is plastic. It is ready for new instructions. It is ready to change. You are the architect. You can start building today. The meta habit of deep, focused reading is your most powerful tool. It is the key that unlocks everything else. It is not just a way to learn new things. It is a way to build a new mind. Each page you read is a step towards freedom. Freedom from the invisible cage of old habits. Each time you bring your wandering mind back to the words, you are building a new reality for yourself. So please, stop fighting your brain. Start rewiring it. The path to deep focus is not a magic trick. It is not a sudden burst of motivation. It is the quiet, calm power of laying one brick at a time. It is the power of 10 pages a day. When you practice this one simple habit, you are building a new brain. And when you have that new brain, success is not something you have to chase anymore. It becomes a natural result of who you are. You will have built the mind for it. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope you feel inspired. I hope you feel hopeful because you have the power to do this. Learning anything new takes time. Changing your brain takes time. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Every page is a step in the right direction. Keep going. If this was helpful for you, please give it a like. It is a small thing for you, but it helps our community grow so much. And I have a question for you. What book will you start your 10-page-a-day journey with? Please share your answer in the comments below. I would love to see what you are reading. Thank you again for your time and your attention. It means the world to me. See you next time, my friend.